All right, the watch list for Tuesday. I'm going to go with BIOC back on bounce watch again. You had a really big move here, and now we're what, 5 days lower? Hit the 20, hit the 20 day today. The volume's been declining. If you go to an intraday, this was kind of finding some little volume spikes and finding some support here above 260, and kind of closed with this little volume spike. Does that mean anything? I have no idea. And there it is on a 30-minute candle. So, maybe it's found some support at 260 and might finally be ready to bounce. I want to watch that one. VLTC goes back on bounce watch again. Now, I made some money in this one. I called this long in the chat room today, and it doesn't look like there was any money to be made going long because it closed near its lows. Let's get that line off there. But on an intraday basis, it's subtle. But you can see a shape change here and a volume increase. And I ended up calling it, after it went down, I ended up calling it on the way back up at 958. It went down here, and on the way back up, I called it at 958 with a low of day stop. And we got to move through 10. We got to move almost a dollar. We got to 1038. So it's about 80-cent move. And then it finally rolled over at the end of the day. Don't care, I'm a day trader. But it does go back on bounce watch for tomorrow. I'd like to see it trade in a in a narrow range and maybe get an afternoon high of day break. I'm still watching for it, and even though we didn't get that today, I still made $200-300 on it just on that bounce I showed you. And so it goes back on bounce watch for tomorrow, and if we get the proper setup, I expect to hopefully make a lot more than that. Depending on how it trades, but with the proper setup and an afternoon break out of a tight range, again, that may never happen, but if it does, keep that one on your radar. You should get a really nice trade out of it if that happens. All right. Otherwise, I don't have to touch it, right? ANY, another big volume one here, and then now you're 2 days lower, declining volume, looking for this one to turn and head back up, only with a proper intraday setup. Sound like a broken record. VGGL, same thing, really strong move, pull back, another strong move. Now you're 3 days lower, declining volume at the 8-day. That goes on bounce watch. DGLY, not so much a chart play here as the whole Baltimore play. I don't know. Somebody announced that some firm or something announced they were short Taser, and I think that brought down DGLY. And you can see where it happened right here. I just think that's, I don't know. I think it's short-sighted. I still think body cameras are back, and not are back, but the news is going to start hitting them again and again, and I just don't think these things are going much lower. Having said that, I've been wrong before. Matter of fact, I said DGLY, I thought it bottomed 2 or 3 days ago, and then today it took out those lows. I think it was on sympathy of the Taser move. You could see it here. So, but anyway, you got a nice pop here and a nice pop here, and I still want to watch this for a potential long. I still think it gets over these recent highs, which is like 1420, and then we ever get up to 16, there's a big possible breakout over that. Now this could take months to play out, so I'm a day trader and I just have it on watch every day, hoping one of these days we'll get a nice setup and some volume maybe on legislation news. In the meantime, I just put it in these videos to remind myself and to remind you to keep it on watch. All right, I don't ever, this is going to sound strange, but I don't ever guess anymore, and that's what's really turned my trading around. And someone hearing this would say, what the heck you mean you don't guess? We're all guessing. And that's true in a sense, but at the same time, what I mean by I never guess is I don't ever just buy something and hope it works out. Every trade I take, I'm in cash every night, so there's no guesswork on what's going to happen overnight. And then every trade I take is for a reason based on the chart. And I can always give you my exact reason for the exact entry that I call and the stop. And so because I can do that, in theory, I'm never guessing. Now, when I call something, maybe I have stacked catalysts just above, and here's a good trigger price, should take it to this catalyst and then this catalyst, and start knocking down dominoes. That might be my reasoning. It doesn't mean I'm right, okay, but I have a reason based on the chart. So in that sense, I never guess, all right? I always have reasons, or I don't take a trade. Hope that made sense. Okay, so that's DJY SYMX, massive volume today, 16 million shares. It definitely didn't get going. It closed like in the middle of its range, but it's hard to ignore this kind of volume. And on a pretty weak afternoon for the market, this thing really held up pretty well. So I like it. Like the best spike it had after the initial spike was to 194. If this sees like 197 tomorrow, I know that's a little bit arbitrary. I think we push through 2 and push through 210 and maybe go crazy. There it is on the weekly. All right, so that's what I'm looking for, and maybe some other types of setups as well. That's just one scenario I'm looking for, but I do like this as a potential long, depending on how it acts tomorrow and what the market does too. Another bottoming tail. In other words, buyers coming in here underneath 14, below 14 for FTK. Got a couple hammers here. This one is on long watch. DANG, that's an old line, but it's almost appropriate, right? I'm going to put a new one because my new ones are white. And they're easier to see now that I've switched to a black background. Nice volume today. And this one, you kind of have a cup and handle, and it may continue, may break out tomorrow. This one, I think, is running sympathy with Yoku, YOKU, which had a nice breakout today. All right, so I actually called YOKU on Bounce Watch this day, and it's been up ever since. I don't own any, but still would have been nice. So anyway, I want to watch DANG for possible breakout tomorrow. Don't love that one, by the way. CANF, 9.4 million shares up into this gap. Also has to go on long watch for tomorrow. And then finally, kind of a short list today, ASPS. You have a nice breakout going here. Again, I point you to this this January pop where it traded on 5 million shares. It went from 1776 to 3288 in one day. Ever since I saw that, this one, it's kind of been in the back of my mind, and now we're starting to sneak up again. Nice volume a few days ago. Didn't quite follow through, but then today put in an inside day, inside Friday's time frame, or inside Friday's candle. So I like this over 2450. In other words, over Monday's high, and then you have another catalyst of Friday's high over 2490. So this one has potential. It's a lower float and can squeeze, as you can see back here. So that's what I'm starting with. Hopefully we'll find some nice gappers in the morning as well. I actually made, as I posted on Twitter, I actually made twice my daily goal today without shorting. But there's two emotions when I say that. One is I'm proud of that. I didn't short, even though the SPY was pretty much red all day, right? If we go to a 5-minute candle, look at that. Look at the trajectory there, right? It's just pretty much little bounces get sold, little bounces get sold, little bounces get sold all day. So this is definitely downward trajectory today. So when I say I'm proud of making twice my daily goal without shorting, I am, but at the same time, I also feel a little silly because when you look at that 5-minute in intraday tape, you'd say, well, any good trader would have been short, right? So without shorting, I'm doing well on a red day, but should have also found something to short, which leaves you with dual emotions there. But anyway, having said that, I'm trading defensively, waiting for A+ setups, or I don't trade, and that's what I try to teach people to do too. This is a very dangerous market for people that are edgy or always want to, you get bored, right? You always want to be in something. It's a dangerous market because it can lull you into trading when you don't have a great setup just because you get bored. I think I excel in this kind of market because I'm very comfortable being in nothing until I have a setup. Okay, so if you're struggling or nickel and diming yourself to death in this recent tape, my advice is to slow down and be comfortable being in nothing till you have an A+ setup. I only put my money to work when I can absolutely explain why I'm doing it. Okay, so that served me very well this year so far, and I'm going to keep doing it. So, all right, I've definitely babbled long enough. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.